So thank you everybody for joining us as the expert tonight. My name is Berenice Pan. With the FACE department, as I mentioned before, CPS mom and CPS alum. So really happy to have you guys giving us the opportunity to be in your homes this afternoon for this really important information that we have. So bienvenidos a todos a esta sesión de hoy. Mi nombre es Berenice Pan, trabajando para la oficina de FACE de las Escuelas Públicas de Chicago. Y como saben, soy mamá de un estudiante de CPS y también graduada de las Escuelas Públicas de Chicago. Así es que muchas gracias por darnos la oportunidad de entrar a su casa y compartir esta tarde con ustedes. So as you guys know, we are going to be recording the session. So Sarai is going to start recording now. And we do this just to allow people who are not able to join us today to see the video at a later time. We upload all of our videos to YouTube, to our YouTube channel. So if you haven't follow us then. So we upload all of these and some of the other sessions that we have. And as always, we are going to have a brief presentation. Then we'll do some of the questions that you guys submitted ahead of time. And then we'll open the Q&A for additional questions that you might have after the presentation. So, como siempre, saben que vamos a estar grabando la sesión de hoy y lo hacemos para que las personas que no pudieron asistir hoy puedan verlo después cuando tengan tiempo, ¿no? Entonces, esto va a estar disponible en nuestro canal de YouTube, así es que si no nos sigan, síganos ya para que puedan ver todos los videos que ponemos, no nada más de estas sesiones, sino también de otras talleres que tenemos para los padres. Y como siempre, vamos a estar haciendo una presentación pequeña con el equipo que tenemos y después de eso vamos a hacer las preguntas que ustedes sometieron durante su RSVP y después vamos a abrir las preguntas en vivo si tienen más preguntas después de que pase la presentación. Y esta es la presentación obviamente de hoy que vamos a estar con nosotros y la sesión que vamos a hablar hoy es sobre los programas de verano que vamos a tener en CPS. So today's session we're going to focus on summer programming with Chicago Public Schools. And today's speakers we have a whole team that's going to join us today and they're going to share their expertise. I'm really excited to have all these folks with us. So esta noche tenemos a un grupo de personas, de expertos que van a estar con nosotros compartiendo lo que saben de este tópico para acompañarnos. Entonces estoy bien emocionada que están todos aquí para compartir toda esta buena información con ustedes. So, tenemos a la doctora Chavarría, que ya ha estado con nosotros en otras presentaciones. También tenemos a la doctora PreK, I hope I'm saying it right. Y también tenemos a Sara, que es también una del equipo de la doctora Chavarría. Y también tenemos a Daniel, que nos está acompañando. So, disculpen que no están las fotos y los nombres. Algunas personas nos añadieron hasta el último tiempo, pero felices de que están aquí. So as you guys know, we have Dr. Chavarria with us. We've had her before and we have her amazing expertise. We also have Dr. PreK, who's with us this afternoon to share her knowledge. We also have Sarah, who's part of Dr. Chavarria's team, and Daniel, who's with us. Sorry, I don't have pictures and names. I know a lot of us got added after, but we're so happy to have you guys and to have your expertise with us. So what I want to do is have you guys introduce yourselves a little bit. So we can start with Dr. Chavarria, then Dr. PreK, Sarah, and then Daniel. So we'll go in that order.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm again Dr. Shirley Chavarria, Chief Officer of Teaching and Learning. In the context of tonight's conversation, teaching and learning really helps support the planning for more academic-focused summer programs. Really happy to share that. Buenas tardes, un gusto estar con ustedes. Soy la doctora Chavarria, soy la jefa de enseñanza y aprendizaje y mi oficina ayuda a desempeñar los programas académicos de verano. Berenice, no se preocupe, si hay que hacerlo en español, lo hacemos en español hoy. Okay.
Thank you.
Gracias.
So Dr. Truex?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Heidi Truax. I'm the Executive Director of the Office of School Counseling and Post-Secondary Advising. And our office plays a part in summer programming specific to Freshman Connection, a new program called Sophomore Connection, but also in supporting our 12th grade graduates as they move into college and other pathways.
Awesome. So I'm going to stop there before I interpret for you. our interpreter is in, so let me give those instructions in Spanish so that people can listen, and then we'll just continue in English. So, nuestra intérprete está con nosotros, ya nos llegó, así es que padres, si necesitan la interpretación al español, saben que abajo de su computadora está el icono de interpretación, que es un mundo, háganle clic por favor, y pueden escuchar entonces a nuestra compañera Bárbara, que va a estar haciendo la interpretación para nosotros. Así es que les doy un minutito para que hagan ese cambio, para que puedan escuchar la interpretación de nuestra compañera. So I'll just give you guys a minute so they can do that, but let me translate for those folks that were not in the interpretation. So la doctora Truex viene de las escuelas públicas de Chicago también y está con el departamento de consejería apoyando a las escuelas públicas de Chicago y a los estudiantes. Entonces, I think we're ready with interpretation, Barbara, right? Thumbs up, and then we're just going to proceed in English moving forward. Fantastic. Okay, so Sarah, you're up.
Thanks, Berenice. Sarah Sidarius. I am CPS's out of school time manager. Super excited to be talking with all of you today about the really fun out of school time opportunities that are going to be available this summer and going into next school year. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Sarah. Daniel?
Hi, my name is Daniel McAuliffe. I am a district representative with the Office of Diverse Learners, and my focus for the summer is ESY. I'm in a small planning team around what we call extended school year, so summer programming opportunities for diverse learners.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you guys for joining us, for being here. So parents, we have a full panel of experts. So, be ready to answer your questions. I'm going to present my screen, and I think Dr. Chavarria, will you be the one speaking to the presentation?
Yeah, and we'll chime in here and there, and I'll cue as we go.
All right, perfect.
Thank you so much. I'll kick us off.
And sorry about that. I was in the wrong.
All right. Well, thank you everyone again for joining us, for learning more about our summer programs for this summer. Excited to share the breadth of programming, and maybe perhaps represented by the breadth of people here, really thinking about how we can holistically meet the needs of our students while being responsive to the unique context of each school community. So our planning, of course, is always grounded in the CPS vision. We go to the next slide. Of course, our vision is to make sure our vision success starts here, which is grounds our mission, which is to provide a high quality public education to every child in every neighborhood. Also, our summer programs are designed around our district goals. We really want to make sure that we're really honoring our vision towards our commitment to equity and to academic progress. So you'll hear a little bit more about how we're prioritizing making sure that all schools can have access to academic and enrichment-based summer programming, making sure that we're really thinking about supporting all schools and being able to do that well. And then finally, of course, hopefully you hear today how we're really also uplifting our core values in our summer program, really making sure that our programming is centered, or there are opportunities to make sure our programming is centered in student interests, that we're really thinking about the needs of the whole child, while also, of course, balancing the concern. Oh, sorry, I'll slow down. Thank you. While, of course, making sure that we're really balancing our concern and need to make sure that students receive academic focused programming this summer. So our approach to summer school this year is that CPS is offering new and expanded summer programs to support students this summer. Specifically, we're offering programs that are meant to really hit three things. Number one, of course, to address students' academic need. And then number two, to really support students during their academic transitions. You'll hear more about that. And we want to make sure that there's opportunity for school communities to really meet students' particular interests. And so you'll learn more about how we're hoping to do that this summer. We're specifically offering three different types of programs. The first are academic programs that are centrally managed or centrally resourced programs that are designed to meet specific student academic needs. These programs all have a specific eligibility criteria. So that means certain students will qualify to be able to apply for and be part of these programs. We also have transition focus programs. So these are programs that we're centrally paying for at this district level that are really designed to focus on supporting students who are entering critical transition periods. And then the third is that we are providing what we're calling school design programs. So we want to make sure that schools have the funding and the flexibility that they need in order to provide programs that are locally designed by school communities that are really based on student interest and student need. So in this presentation, we're going to go through all of the programs, and there's quite a bit. And then at the end, we'll have an opportunity to really engage in questions that you may have. I won't go through the detail of everything that is on this slide, but we're offering quite a bit of information in terms of what the program will look like. So in terms of academic program for elementary age students, the big program that we're offering to meet academic needs is what we're calling Bridge Plus. So this summer, any student who had a D or an F average in quarters 1 through 3 will be invited, and in fact has been invited because the invitations have gone out, to participate in an expanded Bridge Plus program. Typically, Chicago Public Schools has offered this program only for 3rd, 6th, and 8th grade students who are at risk of retention. This year, as was announced and approved yesterday at the board meeting, all students in grades K through 8 will be promoted to the next grade level. So this program is being targeted for those students, but it's not required. Additionally, we've really retooled the program to make sure that it presents a balanced opportunity for students. So we'll provide direct instruction and support in both reading and math. We're also going to integrate programming that really focuses on students' social emotional needs, as well as including time for physical activity, dedicated time for arts, STEM activities, to really provide a very balanced summer school experience for students that hopefully really speaks to them and helps them really continue to re-engage in learning and get back on track as they get planned for the year ahead. This summer, we're also offering the OLSE Summer Support Program. This is an expansion of the programs we typically offer. Schools were offered the opportunity to choose to opt in to this program. 49 schools will be offering this program for students in grades K through 3 who have been identified as having low English literacy proficiency as measured on WIDA. Again, this will be a balance of academic programming that's really supporting our English learners and having expanded learning time. And we have our ESY program, and I'll go over it generally, and I'm sure Daniel can answer a lot more specifics when we get to Q&A. Again, in expanded programming, we have doubled the number of students who can be served by ESY, and also extended the ESY program 2 weeks beyond its typical length. In high school, once again, really providing an expanded opportunity for credit recovery. This summer, every single high school in our district was offered the opportunity to opt in to hosting a credit recovery program that will be in person. This is, of course, for high school students who did not pass a course during the school year and need to make up that credit. We will also offer the traditional virtual credit recovery. Part of why we wanted to make sure that every single school had the opportunity to offer this is that we know that when our students are able to engage in that academic support work in the community that they're a part of, there's greater likelihood that they'll be successful in both signing up, but also completing that opportunity. We also have a tailored program for English learners who need support in making up credits so that they stay on track for graduating high school. And then we're offering some programs targeted towards math. The Summer of Algebra and Exigent Math are both opportunities that are really going to make sure that students have the opportunity to continue to prepare for advanced mathematics. Next, we have our transition focus programs. So we know, particularly for our students who are facing a natural academic transition, so maybe going from one setting to another, that this can present a real risk, especially since so many students did not opt in for in-person instruction and maybe have had a very disrupted year. We want to make sure that we have lots of opportunities to support these students this summer. So on the elementary side, we're offering a kickoff to kindergarten program. Again, schools were offered the opportunity to opt in to host these programs. This is geared towards students who were in preschool and are getting ready to come to kindergarten. It'll be a chance. This program will be a chance for students to preview what it'll feel like to be a kindergarten student, engage in play-based learning, and also, of course, further develop math and reading skills. And then this year, we're introducing a new program called Preview to PreK. And this is actually for students who are going to be enrolling in pre-K in the year ahead. And this is a smaller length, shorter length program that's really focused on helping students ease from the transition from being at home to going into school. And I'll now turn to Dr. Truax to provide an overview of our high school transition focus programs.
Thank you, Dr. Chavarria. So you can see there's 4 programs here really designed to support our high school transition. The first is targeted for our diverse learner population in their post-secondary transition. So making sure that they have strong transition plans for after high school that really support their next step. Adjacent to that is even more expanded. So beyond the diverse learner population for the entire graduating class, this extended post-secondary transition. So we're working towards a model of alumni persistence and success, really making sure that we are supporting our Chicago Public Schools graduates in their first year of life after high school. And then we are excited to have Freshman Connection back. Last summer, Freshman Connection did not get to happen because of COVID. So we have Freshman Connection back to help our rising 9th graders, so students that just graduated 8th grade, have their first experience with high school actually on site in high school buildings. They'll get to do some math learning, English learning, as well as some social emotional engagement and other fun activities. And then for the first time ever, we are offering what we're calling Sophomore Connection, as we know that our current freshmen or 9th graders didn't get to have Freshman Connection, and many of them did not come back to school buildings until this 4th quarter and or still have not returned. And so this will be an opportunity for them to come this summer and get experience on the high school campus and transitioning back into that in-school environment.
All right, and now we're going to turn to Sarah Sedaris, who will provide an overview of a very new opportunity that we're offering school communities this summer.
Thank you, Shirley. Hi, everyone. I am really excited to talk with you today about what we are doing in the out of school time space this summer. And when I say out of school time, I'm talking about all of the non-credit bearing, non-instructional programs that will be available outside of school hours, any summer school hours this summer, as well as during the school year. This year, CPS is investing $23 million in out of school time programs, and that starts this summer. This funding supports both school staff-led and partner-led programs. And this is everything you think of when you think about enrichment programs, various types of academic support programs, social emotional skill development, health and wellness, sports programs, and family and community events. What this means for families is that this year, there will be a lot more before and after school programs available, again, starting this summer. Over the next few months, schools are going to begin planning for both summer and fall out of school time programs. So if you would like to learn more about what out of school time programs are available to you, all of these programs are designed at the school level. So talk with your school, ask about what they have planned for summer, and if there's any way that you can help plan for fall programming. And then I also wanted to touch on a citywide initiative called My Shine, My Future, which some of you may be familiar with. This is a really cool platform that the city manages. It's at myshinemyfuture.org. And this connects youth to programs all across the city in all different types of content areas, and allows you to explore different types of options as far as different types of programs that are available through parks, libraries, and other community-based organizations. And you can actually click through and actually register for those programs through the My Shine, My Future site and be directed directly to those enrollment processes for each of those organizations. So take a look at it if you haven't already. You can search for programs by age group, geographic area, content focus, or if there's a particular organization you're interested in. And you can also view a map of available programs as well. So just wanted to share that as something that's also available more broadly across the city. Check out My Shine, My Future.
So Oh, okay. So we will definitely continue to provide more information to parents about all the summer programs, but you can contact your school just specifically to learn about how to register for programs. Depending on each program, some students may receive a direct invitation, while others may be open and the school will communicate locally. All the programs that we've listed will be in person this summer. So we're excited to continue to support students in acclimating to the in-person learning environment. I think the exception there might be ESY, which will, I think, have a virtual component, but I'll let Daniel clarify that. And we will continue to follow all existing health precautions as listed on the cps.edu website. I apologize, that should have been there. And we'll also soon be launching a page on the cps.edu website that will list all of these summer opportunities so that families can keep track of all the different resources that we're offering this summer. I think that concludes the presentation, and we're happy to move on to asking questions. Thank you again.
Thank you, everybody, for that presentation. A lot of really good information for parents to know. I did visit My Chai when I saw it on the presentation, so I got an opportunity to click and play. And for our parents, it's available in Spanish, so you just click on Español, and then the website turns into Spanish, so you guys can also view it. So we're going to get started with some of the questions that parents submitted ahead of time. So we have a few. So parents, the Q&A is open. So if you want to ask additional questions, you're free to type away, and we're going to get started just with the ones that were submitted ahead of time. So I have a question from a parent, Maria Aviles from Rice Elementary. And her question is in Spanish, and then I'll read it in English. It says, ¿cómo podemos los padres motivar a los chicos a participar activamente en los programas de verano? Porque no los veo con una responsabilidad más, para que no lo vean como una responsabilidad más durante el verano. So her question is, how can parents motivate children to actively participate in summer programs so they don't see this like an additional responsibility during their summer break?
That is a great question, and I'll start off, and then if others want to chime in, go ahead. I think number one thing that we've kept in mind as we're designing summer programs is, at least from the Summer Bridge perspective, is we really want this to be an opportunity for students, yes, to continue to develop academic skills, but also a time to reconnect with peers or connect with new peers. And so we'll be building in time, like I said, for physical activity, for recess, for activities that are a little bit more hands-on and collaborative in nature. So really helping students see that this is an opportunity to reconnect with peers and really engage in a collaborative and social space, while, of course, working on any academic needs they may have.
Yeah, thank you for that, Dr. Maria. Anyone else wants to add something? If not, we'll move on. Awesome. Okay, thank you for that. And like you said, Dr. Maria, I think this is a great experience for kids who haven't been in the building to like go in the building, right, and see their school and see some of their friends. I know my munchkin started, he tells me not to call him munchkin anymore. He's 12, but my munchkin started fourth quarter, and he was super excited just to be back in the building and see his friends, right, and see his teacher like in person. He met her over computer, but like he was so excited to see her in person. So this is a great opportunity for that. So thank you. The next question we have is from Nicole from Mian Elementary. And her question is, I know ESY is available for my diverse learners, but are there also going to be enrichments for non-ESY options for students?
So non-ESY options for diverse learners? Is that?
I think that is her question. Are there going to be enrichment / non-ESY options available as well?
So I think that diverse learners can be engaged in all the programs, right? So and Chicago Public Schools, we very much emphasize inclusion, right? And that we want students involved in all the programs that they are appropriate for them at their level, whether it be a social emotional program, a transition program, or a bridge program. I think it's just so exciting, the whole landscape of opportunities right now, especially with transition especially coming off the pandemic. It's really exciting, and diverse learners can be engaged in all of these opportunities.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Chavarria.
Just a couple of things to add. I think that there's also some intentionality around how we're designing programs. So, we've talked about these centrally planned programs that have set schedules, such as ESY and Bridge Plus. And then we have schools, the schools will be able to offer additional programs through things like OST. And we've asked schools to think about how they can schedule them in ways where students can do both, particularly as maybe some of that school-based programming may speak to students' individual interests or maybe a little bit more enrichment focused, but really guiding schools to think about intentionally scheduling so students can do both.
Awesome. No, thank you for that. So Nicole, there you go. We have tons of opportunities for the kids to be involved in several things if it applies or you have the schedule for it. So thank you for that. The other question we have is from Jody from Swift, and it says kids age out of the Park District camps at age 12 and cannot sign up for After School Matters until they're 14. So what can 13-year-olds do during the summer?
I can answer, and then again, we can jump in here. So again, some of the programming that will be offered through CPS will be very school specific. So your school may choose to offer, again, enrichment-based programming through OST. And then, of course, I think that the My Shy, My Future may have opportunities for students that you can explore. Dr. Truex and Sarah, I welcome you to offer any other ideas we have for that particular age group.
I would just echo that as well. Part of the impetus behind expanding out of school time programming is to provide programming where there are those types of gaps. And the My Shy, My Future platform is a great resource as well. Again, you can search by age if you're looking for something that's really close to home. That's a great option as well. But I would just say, if you're looking for programming, talk with your school, find out what they've got planned, and work with them to figure out what might be a good fit.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. And I think you both said something key, right? Like you guys as parents, we need to communicate with the school to see what's going on, because not everybody's going to have the same thing with this out of school time programming, right? So we want to make sure that you as parents reach out, look on the website, call. Those clerks are awesome. So give them a call and get some information from them and see how you guys can help, how you guys can register your kids. So thank you so much for that, for the both of you. We have another question from Maria. Yeah, so I think you guys answered that, but maybe we can reinforce this. Maria's from CPS, I'm not sure what school. So just talking about the programs for transition students, such as pre-K and for kindergarten. So you talked a little bit about that. So do the parents have to go to their specific school? Like how would they know? Where do they go?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is by your specific school. And the reason why we didn't do it, like, let's say anywhere across the city, you can go to a program, is because I think particularly for this age group of students, really being with the teachers or will be with as a student, or the peers that you will know or be with in the classroom is really what brings a lot of value to these summer programs. So the pre-K to the preview to pre-K and the kickoff to kindergarten programs, again, all schools had the opportunity to choose to offer. And so it's a question of reaching out to your school to find out if they will be offering the program this summer.
Yeah, no, for sure. And for those kiddos that are starting pre-K, the application's open, guys. So go and apply and get ready. So doing a hint for early childhood, please apply if you haven't done so. Your kid is 4 and is trying to get into pre-K. So thank you guys for that. The other question that we have is from Cecile from Hoyne Elementary. And a couple of questions is, for the enrichment programs that we're going to offer, will they be, all of them will be in person, or some going to be virtual? How would that work? And then what virtual programs and camps does CPS offer, which you guys already talked a little bit about that, but I think the question more about the virtual or in-person programming.
I saw some else come off mute. Yeah, so as far as out of school time enrichment programming, we've asked schools to prioritize in-person programming where possible to try and get kids back to school and create kind of those safe physical spaces for kids to be in. But we are still allowing schools the flexibility to provide virtual programming if that's a good fit for some of their students. So that may be an option. Again, talk to your school, figure out what they're planning to offer. Chief Chavarria, I'll defer to you, but I think all other program opportunities are scheduled to be in person at this point.
I do believe so, but I wonder, Daniel, if you will clarify in terms of ESY what families can expect.
Sorry. Something obviously happened. I apologize. So for ESY, there will be a virtual option, right? So around Monday, hopefully, we're hoping the letters will start going out to parents indicating their site selection and the time that their ESY site starts. And then then they'll be asked a question right in the letter that says, will your student be attending in person or virtually? And so there'll be virtual classes alongside alongside the in-person classes. And a lot of that has to do with the specific nature of extended school year as far as addressing students' IEP goals and the success that a lot of related service providers have had. And also some of the medically fragile students that have not been able to return yet, that we still wanted to accommodate them and make sure that that we were putting all the options on the table, so to speak.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. So guys, wait for those letters and reach out to schools to really know how those programs are going to be run and what is accessible to you. So thank you for that. We do have another question from parent Roberto from Jones, and it's a couple of questions. So what type of program can schools offer using the ADF and OST funds? And can you guys please provide several examples for high school specifically in elementary? So would it be like homework help, tutoring, writing centers? Like what kind of programs would schools be able to offer?
So from the OST side, there's really an abundance of flexibility there as far as summer programs are concerned. Really, what we have asked schools to do is to use student and family voice to inform the types of programs that they decide to offer and create a portfolio of programs that's a best fit for their students and their community. So lots of flexibility in terms of how the out of school time funds can be used. It's really up to schools to design their own portfolio of programs. Everything that you mentioned, absolutely fair game. Awesome,
great. So let's talk to that principal and make your voice heard and see what you guys want for your school. So thank you so much for answering those questions. And we're going to get started with some of the Q&A that people have been typing away. So we have a few questions. So one of them, a parent asks, how do we know if my school has the summer bridge program? How would they find that out?
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple things about Summer Bridge. Number one, you could ask your school directly. That would be the fastest way to find out. We will be sharing specific school sites shortly once we operationalize our website. But I want to elevate a couple things to know about Bridge, the Bridge Plus program. If your student receives an invitation for that program, again, that would be if your student is in grades K through 8 and has an average of D or F in reading or math. If you receive that invitation and your specific school isn't offering Bridge, you will still have the opportunity to enroll in the Bridge program. And if the school isn't close to your school, we will be offering busing services to families that want them for the Bridge Plus program.
Awesome, thank you. That's great to know. So good information, thank you. We have another question and it's about the Bridge program. So it says, is there any way for the Bridge Plus to be able to be based on teacher/family recommendations? So many schools are working hard to give, not to give families grade this year, but many parents are still really concerned about their children's academic.
So the Bridge Plus program will be focused again on that entry criteria based on grades. But I think that again, really reach out to your school principal and talk about those needs. I do though want to elevate, having just recently been a principal, that for many schools they're still organizing those additional programs that they're going to offer. In fact, I think today had school leaders and coordinators had a training on the OST programs. So both A, there's still opportunity to engage your school leader, but B, if you call and ask them, what's our OST program? And they say, I'm not sure yet, that's a fair response if you call them tomorrow.
Awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of schools are still trying to plan and figure out, what's working for their community and for the kids that they serve. So thank you for that, Dr. Adia.
I've experienced that too in the schools that I work with as far as my job, but also in my daughter's school, when I've gone to the principal and just asked him what summer opportunities there are. He's doing his best to work right now to create summer opportunities that incorporate all the students' needs. So he was very receptive to me just as a parent, just coming and saying, how can my daughters be included over the summer?
Fantastic. Thank you for that. Yeah, I think it's important for us as parents who we want to know, I know, because we want to plan our summer, but to give principals and, our school staff like time to process and really time to plan so that we have some like amazing programming over the summer for the kids. So be patient, parents. I'm a parent, so I'm with you, but we need to be patient a little bit and try to let them work their magic to put something together for us. We do have another question from Roberto, and it's in Spanish. I'm going to read it in Spanish and then interpret it. It says, quisiera saber si la escuela en la primaria y secundaria deberían cobrar a las familias en adición de los gastos matriculares, sus school fees, para participar en estos programas de OST. Por ejemplo, la escuela de mi estudiante está cobrando para programas de deportes, baile, teatro, arte durante el verano. So the question is, he would want to know if schools, primary and high school, are charging families additionally for, aside from school fees, to participate in OST programs. So the example, his student, is charging for sports, dance, theater, and art classes during the summer. So if you guys can clarify that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So there may be some programs that do still have fees associated with them. What the out of school time funds are designed to do is alleviate some of those programs so that there are no cost options available. And so that's what we've asked schools to do, is make some no cost options available. But there still may be some fee-based programs.
Thank you for that clarification. So I guess it depends. You guys need to talk to your school and see what's being offered. So thank you for that.
Yeah. And I would add, it's really important to talk and understand too, is it an OST program? But because sometimes, and we have told schools now that they can reopen their schools to partner with outside organizations to offer summer programs. So it might be that the school itself isn't coordinating that program through OST, but rather a partner is offering it at that school site. So definitely would be good to get some more information in terms of what might be going on with those fee-based programs.
Yeah, no, that's important to know. A lot of our schools have some really good partnerships already that are built, that they have been putting together summer programs before COVID, right? So there might be a time for them to come back. So parents definitely ask what the difference is and what they're offering. So thank you everybody for that response. We do have a question from Adriana Guerrero, and her question is, will you be offering dual language enrichment programs for a preschool or kindergarten?
So I would say that there's, for the schools who have opted to offer, for example, the pre-K to the preview to pre-K or the kickoff to kindergarten program based on school programming desire and priority, there's absolutely no reason why they can't consider the needs of our Spanish language speaking students, particularly those who are getting ready to enter into a dual language program. I know that as a former principal of a dual language school, we definitely planned for the needs of both students, both those in the dual language program and those not in the dual language program.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thank you for that. We do have a question from Rosalia Salgado, and her question is, a lot of parents are aware that some of the principals run school programs however they like. What happens if we have a difficult principal that doesn't show interest in passing out the information or this great information to parents? So what is some advice that we can give this parent?
Yeah, a couple of thoughts. Number one, I definitely want to name that having a lot of grace for all of us. I think that school leaders, teachers, all of us are coming to the end of a very exhausting year. And so I think that we're all asking ourselves, what can we offer while also balancing room for rest and self-care? But if there are concerns with the school leader, there are known ways that you can escalate your concerns. And actually, Berenice, I turn to you about how FACE can support some of that and other channels we have.
Yeah, no, for sure. So parents, as you know, I think your first thing to do would be to try to speak to your principal, right? And have a conversation with them. I think most of our principals are pretty good about having an open door policy and talk to them. They also have a team that works with them, right? So there's an AP, there's other people in the building that are also supporting these programs. So having a conversation with them. There's also the network support. You can call the network office and really get some additional information. And the last thing, your FACE managers, call your FACE managers. If you guys don't know who they are, you guys can go to CPS FACE, and then it gives you the person's name and email per network. So you can try to talk to them and see if they can help you well, whatever issue you have at your school and in your community. So I encourage you to do all those things first, and then, talk to your FACE manager and see how they can support you. Yeah. So thank you for that.
If I would second the, if you've reached out to the administration, the principal and the other administrators in the building, or even your child's teacher, right? And ask your child's teacher, can you help support me in exploring some summer opportunities? Most teachers are really invested in seeing students not lose more over the summer break, right? They want students to be engaged. But the network is there. I work closely with the network myself, and I know that not only are we really in touch with what's going on in the schools, but also we know the challenges that individual principals or schools are having. So we're able to help create those pathways of communication.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, there's a whole team, right? That our departments, our networks in the school that can support parents. So don't be shy, reach out to us and we'll try to support you as best as we can. So thank you, everybody, for that. We do have another question from Nicole. Her question is it too late for schools to ask to host the PreK, the preview to PreK or kickoff to kindergarten program?
That's a great question. That program is being led by the Office of Early Childhood, and so I don't have that answer readily available, but Berenice, let me know how I can follow up with that response.
For sure. So Nicole, you have my email, send me an email, and then I will try to connect you to figure out if you guys can still apply over at Jan. So thank you for that. Let's see. There is a... so there's a question by Adriana Garcia. It says, it's in Spanish and then I'll put it in English. ¿Qué oportunidades les van a dar a los niños con asma o alergias o todavía no tienen edad para aplicaciones de las vacunas? So I guess she's asking if the kids are not vaccinated yet and they have asthma or allergies, are there programs available for them?
So again, we really are focusing our summer programs on in-person opportunities to continue to acclimate and support students and getting ready for that in-person environment. We are going to continue to use all of the different health protocols that were established this school year. Of course, wearing face masks, temperature checks, health screeners, continuing to social distance at 6 feet apart this summer to continue to build public comfort and safety in being in our buildings.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. And I think just as experience as a mom, I know, like I said, my mom's going back to school and he's 12. So we did get vaccinated and we're taking our second one in a couple of weeks and we're super excited. But the school is really working hard on making sure like all the kids have their mask on, they're keeping their distance, cleaning. Even the kids, my son tells me, when we're done eating, mama, like we're cleaning, we're making sure that everything's good. So I think having that communication with your school, right, and knowing what they're doing, it's also a peace of mind for parents when you're sending your kid in. So just know that as CPS, we are doing everything we can to make sure that it's a safe environment for your kids to come back during the summer and in the fall. So again, talk to your principal, talk to your school staff to see what's going on and how they're dealing with all these issues. And I know they're more than happy to talk to you guys and give you guys like a bigger picture of what's happening in the building, just for peace of mind for parents. I know we're all worried about those kinds of things.
Before we went back fourth quarter, because I've been in school since fourth quarter started. And before that, I was nervous too. I was very nervous, right? And then as soon as I was back in the schools, I was like, oh, everybody's following the protocols, right? And it really made me not just peace with my own experience and my own family, but also professionally about, it is in everybody's best interest that kids come back, but safely. And that's where our energy is focused.
For sure. No, thank you for that, Daniel.
Berenice, I was able to, thanks to technology, check in with actually Chief Stokes just now, and he indicated that schools that may still be interested in hosting preview to pre-K or kickoff to kindergarten but didn't originally opt in can reach out to his office and engage in that conversation. So there may still be an opportunity here.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Chavarria. So Nicole, talk to your principal and reach out to early childhood to see what else we can do to get you guys that program if you guys want it in your building. And there's the questions. Anna, will this presentation be shared with us? Yes, you will. We'll send it out to you tomorrow via PDF with some of the links that they were on the presentation, so you guys can visit my chai. There's another question from Rosalinda. Will there be a follow-up with us if you guys can answer your question? So reach out to me, Rosalia, and send me your question if you don't want to ask it here. And then I'll try to connect with somebody in the team that can answer your question.
And there's an email address. I know that I'm sure all the summer programs have email addresses, but there's an email address, esy@cps.edu, where we're looking every day to see if there's questions from parents or from school personnel.
Thank you. Yeah, so we'll, in the email that we send out tomorrow, we'll try to include all that information so that you guys have it. But if you don't see it, you forget it, you all have my emails, keep me an email, and then I'll try to connect you as best as I can. Let's see, the last question that we're going to go through, it's from Grisela, and it's in Spanish, so let me read it and I'll translate it. It says, los estudiantes necesitan programas culturales de arte, música y socioemocional para mejorar esta situación surgida por la pandemia. Y CPS debería de ir pensando y si da tiempo de ir eliminando algunas asignaturas que sean de computación e incluir arte, música, educación física, socioemocional. Gracias. So this is a thought more than a question for us as CPS. It says students are in need of more cultural, art, music, and social emotional instruction to help support what kids have gone through the pandemic. CPS should be thinking about eliminating some of these assignments, I'm assuming homework, on the computer and really include art and music, physical education, social, emotional. So I don't know if you guys want something to say about her comment.
I think we all might have a response there. I think, claro que sí, Griselda. We're all on the same page. I can't agree more. We need to think about how we invite students back into both shared physical space, how we continue to uplift who they are and help them really connect to learning. And so, again, in Bridge, we've made some real adjustments to really thinking about how we prioritize student time so they can do some of the things. And then again, really with OST, that's why offer every single school OST funds, because we do believe schools should have that opportunity. And I'll let Sarah, I don't know, or anybody else who wants to add.
Couldn't agree more. I think that's the goal, is to create more of these opportunities, more of these enrichment opportunities, more of these safe spaces to get students back into a comfortable spot in this new normal, coming back to school. So really excited about what's on the horizon this expansion of out of school time program offerings for that exact reason. Could not agree more that this is something that is absolutely a need, and it's something that we're looking forward to addressing in the next year.
And if I can, I would just add, we're also making sure that we're communicating that with all staff members, right? That there's increased training around how to engage students social emotionally as they return from the pandemic, and just recognizing that that community building and creating space to share socially and engage in different types of activities is incredibly important right now.
Thank you for that. I think that's awesome for us to know that you guys are working with the teachers and the staff to really be mindful of like students coming back and their social emotional needs. So thank you guys for that. And I lied, there's one more question that I want to ask you guys. And it's coming from Roberto. So we're talking about, it's in Spanish and then I'll translate it. It says, una pregunta acerca de los cobros. ¿Hay una excepción para ayudar o apoyar a familias participar en los programas del verano? If the school is charging for them. So the question is, if there is a cost to some of these summer programs, is there exceptions or supports that we can provide for families who might not be able to pay for these services?
Sarah, you want to go ahead?
Sure. So as Chief Chevrier mentioned, it's important to understand who's running the program. So in some cases, you know, if a school is just hosting the space for a program and a partner is running that program, you know, that's something that's the partner's decision as far as whether or not to charge fees. But, you know, as I mentioned, part of what we're looking to do with our out of school time dollars and what we're asking our schools to do is alleviate those financial burdens on families where possible and provide no cost opportunities. So again, I think this is partly a talk to your school question, but I think that that's the path, and that's something that we are looking to do more of. Oh my goodness, you guys, the dogs today, they want to join our call. But something we're looking to do more of over the next year is provide those no cost opportunities for families.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thank you, Sarah, for that. And I think, as you mentioned, like speak to your schools and figure out what's there. I'm sure there's a lot of partners who do offer free stuff for our schools, and they're always willing. So talk to your schools and just figure out what's available for them. And then hopefully there's something we can do. I know some schools also like offer scholarships. There's a lot of things that schools do like on a school basis. So talk to your school and then see how we can support you. So thank you for that. We're going to leave the questions at that. If you have any more, shoot me an email. What I do want to close with you guys, and I don't know if everybody wants to do this. I know we have 4 of you guys here, but from all the information you gave us, from all the stuff that is happening in the summer, what's one important thing, I think, since we have 4 of you guys, what's one important thing that you want parents to really take away today from what you guys are saying? So Dr. Chavarria, we'll get started with you.
I think that we're really trying to offer a wide variety of programs so that hopefully you see an opportunity for your student if you think that you want one or need one this summer. And if you don't see an opportunity, reach out to your school so we can collaboratively think about how to support you and your family as you embark on the summer and start to think about a return to in-person instruction in the fall if you haven't already taken that step.
For sure. Thank you. Dr. Truex?
I would echo that. And also just, I think one key takeaway is that all of these opportunities are being designed intentionally, recognizing that it is a new era, right? That the world is different now. And so the programs are different than they've been before. There are more of them than there are before. There's more support for them than there are before. So if you're not seeing what you need, please do be advocating for it, because I think everyone recognizes that now is the time for us to adapt and adjust to make sure that families and students are getting what they need.
Yeah, thank you for that. Sarah?
I love the way you phrased that, Dr. Truex, and that acknowledgement that this is a new world and a new space for all of us to occupy again and in a new way as different people, quite frankly, coming out of this past year. I hope that it's apparent that we are really committed to providing those safe spaces for students to re-engage. That really is at the core of what we're looking to do with out of school time this year, is to create those safe spaces, create those exciting, fun opportunities that get kids back to school and engaged in fun and exciting things that get them excited and get them back into school buildings and ready to learn. So we're looking forward to it.
Thank you, Sarah. Daniel?
I think my first comment is remember that we're all human beings, and that at the school level and at the district level, things we make mistakes too, but we're trying really hard to create options that to make it available that all students have a level of engagement, all students have an access to getting what they need in the summer, and especially coming off the pandemic, for all students to get what they need to fill in the gaps of their learning or their social emotional development. And we value your input, right? So if we haven't thought of something, right, for your specific child, please share your thoughts with us.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. I think this time more than ever, right? Like we've learned as parents, as humans, right? Like parent voice is really important for us to try to figure out like what we can do to better support you and your students. So definitely what Daniel said, if there's something on your mind that you're like, man, this would really help my kid, let us know so that we can try to figure out what we can do to really support you and your family and your student, most of all. So thank you everybody for that. It was amazing having all of you guys with us to share your expertise and to give us all this really awesome information. Parents, there's a lot of opportunities this summer for your kiddos to be part of something, right? At your school level, at the city level. So please make sure you start doing some research if you haven't done so already, and sign those kids to do some stuff during the summer away from the screen. I know I told my munchkin, we need to get you on a schedule away from the screen. So we want to make sure your kids are doing that too, and are, you know, just being out there in the sun and getting some D vitamins. So make sure you guys are doing that for your kids. Thank you so much for joining us. And this is going to be our last as the expert for the school year. So we started, Dr. Chavarria, with you back in December. So we're ending with you. So thank you so much for that. Parents, we are going to reach out to you guys with a couple of surveys to tell us how we did. What do you want to see for the next coming school year? And we're hoping to do some focus groups with you guys to bring you more information in the coming year and bring you more supports for the fall. So thanks everybody for joining us. Have a great night and enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one.